So scatter plot. So basically, scatter plot will show the relationship between two different variables. So in the chart that you see over here, we have sales in the x-axis and we have profit in the y-axis. So we can able to correlate with two different uh, measures or two different variables. So and also we can this is a we can call this scatter plot also a correlation chart, and so scatter plots are useful to identify or to understand the relationship between two variables. So yeah, so we can identify from the, let's say for profit we can identify from top to bottom. For sales we can identify from the left to right. So now let's see how we can create this scatter plot. So I'm just opening Tableau. Yeah. So I'll take an example of one sales and one profit. And I'll take some region. Okay, one has to be in the columns and one other one has to be in the rows. Why? Because we need to get one measure as profit. I mean, one measure as y-axis, one measure as x-axis. So that is the reason, and we'll put region in the color. So this particular one circle will get divided into 4 parts. Now let's see. Yeah, and now we could see uh, west region. So it has a high amount of sales and it has high amount of profit. So with this we can directly say when there is more sales, there is more profit. And in case of this one, so this has less sales but more profit. And this one has less profit and more sales. So with this we can identify which is having more, and so we can correlate between two different categories or two different variables. So when the sales is moving towards upwards, profit should go towards right. So then that means both are in a correlation. And if you see in the case of these two categories, when the sales is or profit is going towards right, but sales is still there itself. And in the case of this one, say profit is less, but sales is more. But in case of these two regions, west and east, both are like the same way. Like towards up it is 700k and towards right it is 100k. So if you see the graph, so it is like normal. So from top to bottom, you have some distance. From left to right, you should also have the same distance, so that you can say that the trend is going towards which is say when the sales is proportional to the profit. So in this case, we can say the sales is proportional to the profit. But in case of these two uh, regions, we can say sales is not proportional to the profit. So having said that, so if the sales is more, we can't say we will get more profit. It depends on the cost of that particular product. So that is how we can uh, correlate between one measure and the other measure. And histogram chart. And this is one of the most important chart that we have ever seen. So we have discussed about this particular chart while we are creating the bins in the chart. So Venkat, can you tell me, so can we write bins on dimension? I mean, can we create a bin on a dimension?
Yeah, hello? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Venkat, can we create, is it possible to create a bin on a dimension?
bins and no, we need to create measures, right? Because if it is only
Correct. We can create only bins on measures only.
yeah, by converting into measures we can.
Yeah. So groups we can do on both dimensions and measures, but bins we can do only on measures itself. So now let's see how we can create a histogram chart. So before creating, we have discussed this before, but as this is an important chart, I'm discussing it over again. So let's see the sales. Yeah. So this is the amount of sales that is there. So let me sort it down. Yeah. It is starting from $1, and so the minimum value is $1, and the maximum value is $22,638. So I have these many values, and I want to bucketize uh, to $500. Like from 0 to 500, how many customers are there, and 500 to 1,000, how many customers are there. So I want to identify those number of customers, and I want to see in that bucket how many number of customers are purchasing the more number of sales. So let's see. So I'll just create sales, create bids. So Tableau will automatically show you the minimum value, which is 0, and the maximum value, which is 22,638, and it is suggesting us the size also. So 447 is the suggested size by the Tableau. So we can make it as a 500. So then for sales. Okay, and I'll just put sales first, and I'll show you how this is working. Bin for sales. Okay, and let me do a. So basically, what it is doing is from 0 to $499. It is summarizing the sales amount. But let me just do a. So if I remove this aggregate, so then it will not do the aggregation. So it will not do the aggregation, and it will show us the values itself. So let me just. Yeah. So this is the bin that we have created. So this will hold values from 0 to 499, and this will hold values from 500 to 999. So if you see, so these are the values which it holds, and this has many. So let me just put it over here and make this as discrete. Yeah. So it will have 0 to 499 values. Let me just drag it down. So this is without aggregation. Yeah. So till 499.99, so we have created a bucket. So again from 500 to 1,000, there is one more bucket. So now let's see how many customers are there for each and every bucket. So now let me just put customer name. I want to see the count. So to see the count, I just need to put go to measure and select count. So that is the aggregation that we can do. And let's click on this bar chart. Yeah, I'll just to do a swap. So if you see, there are customers who made 0 to $499 of sales. Just let me just put this count of customer here. Mm, I need to make this as continuous. And let me just put customer name and make this as count. Yeah. Okay. So we are not getting this because we have removed this aggregate measures. So let's just click on this aggregate measures. Okay. So then we could see, so this is not doing the aggregation basically. So when we select this one, so it is showing us the each and every customer individually. So it is not counting from 0 to this value, like this is not counting the number of customers. So to do the aggregation, what we need to do is we need to click on this aggregation option. So until unless we do, so that will be by default that will be selected. So depending on the requirement, we might do uncheck for that particular aggregate measures. So this is how we can create a histogram chart. Any doubts, Venkat, in this chat?
No, Sagar.
Ah, yeah, and also we have a tree map. So there are two different charts which we have. One is tree map and a heat map. So most of the time we have this interview question as what is the difference between a tree map and a heat map. So let's talk about tree map and heat map separately. Then I'll tell you the difference between the two charts. So yeah, so tree map, the representation of tree map is basically based on the color and based on the size of the box and hierarchical arrangement of the items. So let's say if we have a value or if you have the sales amount is more, then the color and thickness of that particular item will be thickness in color, and if the value is less, that will be in the lighter in color. And if the so value is proportional to the thickness of the color, and value is proportional to the size of the box. If the value is more, so the size will be more, and uh, and also it is hierarchically arranged. So from left to right. So whichever has the highest value will be on the left top, and whichever has the lowest value will be on the right bottom. So with that also we can identify that this particular item or that particular product is having high or low value. By seeing that particular tree map, we can understand. So now let's see. So to create a hierarchical or tree map, so one dimension and one measure are mandatory. So those are the prerequisites for that tree map. So let me take a subcategory, and let me also take sales and click on show me. Click on this tree map. Yeah, and let me show the values on top of this. Yeah. So if the value is more, so that will be on the left top corner, and if the value is less, that will be on the right bottom corner. And so based on the size and based on the thickness of the color, so we can identify whether the value is more or less. So there are three ways of representation. according to the hierarchy, according to the thickness of color, according to the size. So that this is about tree map. And now let's talk about heat map. So heat map is nothing but, so that's some similarities between a tree map and a heat map. So it is also based on the color, and it is also based on the size of the box or size of the circle, whatever uh, graph that we use. So these two are similar, and the one that is missing is hierarchical. So we don't have any kind of hierarchy in this particular heat map. So that is the main difference between a tree map and a heat map. So now let's create a heat map. So let's take sales, and let's take state. Okay, and let me click on. Let me click on this. Or I can do this one as well. So basically, this can be called as a heat map. So heat map, in the name only it defines that. So depending on the heat. So here heat means nothing but thickness, thickness of the color. So based on the thickness of the color, we can say that the value is more. And if you see, there are two or three. So United States, California. So California is the highest value. So 45688. So here we can see this is called as a color legend. So minimum value is 920 and the maximum value is 457,688 dollars. So depending on the value, if it is near to this maximum value, then it will be in the thickness in color, and if it is near to this minimum value 920, then it will be in lighter in color. So with that we can identify. So mostly it is based on thickness of the color, and there is one more type of heat map uh, where we can do based on the size also. So let me just show you the other one. So we can click on this other chart, and here we can see the size itself. Okay, based on the size we can identify which state has the highest value. And if I want to see based on the color also, I'll put this control select this sales and put it on the color box, and see I can identify based on the thickness of the color also. As the lighter ones are not appearing, so I will use a different pattern to see the difference. So I'll just use uh, something like this: red, green, white diverging. Say apply. Okay, yeah. So minimum, whichever has the minimum value will be in the red in color, and between there is something like you see this is, so it is like in between, so that will be in lighter color, and whichever is closer to the maximum value, that will be in green in color. So we can change the pattern also. We just double click on this, and there are some patterns available here, and there we can select. That is about the heat map. And the main difference between a heat map and a tree map is hierarchy. Okay, so that is about all the different charts, and yeah, difference between tree map versus heat map is hierarchy. And the similarities of measure value, measure value is proportional to the size and thickness, color thickness. Okay, so that is about 17th session. So if you have any questions, then we'll go for the questions, and then later we can go for the 18th session.
Yeah. Yeah, no questions, sir. Go to 7.
Oh, yeah, then we'll start our 18th session. Okay. Okay, so in our 18th session, we are going to discuss about how to format our workbook. So in Tableau or any reporting tool, so while we create some technicalities or while we create some uh, high-end different types of charts, it is also very important on how you are presenting in the dashboard. So we need to format our dashboard in such a way that it looks good. So formatting plays a vital role in any reporting. So then, so this today's session is completely about how to format our workbook. So these are our topics. So how to format at sheet level, and how to format at workbook level, and the worksheet level, and there are some text and numbers, tables, cells, table structures, and there are some custom color palettes that we create. So these are the so all these topics will cover on how to format the data uh, to represent in a good way. Okay. So formatting is an important part of both our analysis and presentation. So you can almost format everything you see on the worksheet, including the fonts. So there are like 5 options which are available, which we can do: fonts, shading, alignment, borders, and graph lines. So these are the 5 options that we can do. So with this, it will cover everything. So if we do all these 5 options, so we can make a good presentation. For example, in a text table, you may want to add banded shading to help you visually separate consecutive group of rows or columns. So we can do that. So let me just start building some dashboards or worksheets. So let me just start with some table charts. So I'll put sales, and I'll put product. And I'll say, okay. So now these are my products and all. But to see all everything fit with. Okay, I can see the complete names, or I can just do a drag over here. So this alignment is also comes under formatting. Okay, so first let's talk about at workbook level. So we can click on this dashboard. Or let's just click on dashboard and click on format. So this is at workbook level. So if you apply it here, so the changes will happen all over the worksheet. So let's say we have 33 different sheets in this particular dashboard. So if we make change over here, so everything will get changed in the dashboard. So now let's say I'm putting this dashboard shading as this one. Okay, so this is the dashboard shading, and So this is the dashboard shading for this particular dashboard, and click on this format again. Okay, and also put this as say 28, or let's just put some sheets on this to understand it more better. So I'm putting some sheets. So the one is cost table, one is pie chart, one is heat map, and the other one is histogram chart. See, wherever it is getting highlighted, I can put it over there. So if I want it to be on the entire sheet, I can put it like this, but I want it on the side of this particular cross table. I'll put it over here. So this is how the arrangement happens. Okay, and okay, so these are the sheets that are there. And now I want to do a format. I do a format and I want to show and make it as bold. So this is about dashboard title. Okay, so we don't put that dashboard title here. So let's put title. So to show title, you can click on this dashboard title also. So show dashboard title. So this title is nothing but the name of this particular tab. So whatever name that we write here, that comes as a tab over there. So with that, we can change the title. So whatever font that I change here, that will change over there. Yeah. So I'll keep it as 18. Okay, and I can put some shading or background color for that particular. Yeah. So I can change the color. So this is how I can put some background colors, and I can do a left line or a center line, something like this. And I can put a border as well, and I can select the thickness of the border. So these are the options that are there, and worksheet titles. So if you see, each and every sheet has a title: heat map, cost table, histogram chart. So I can change from here itself. I can make those worksheet titles as bold. I can make italic, or I can make underline. So these are the changes that I can do. And if I want, I can put some different color as a background color. If it is not, yeah, I can put some, yeah. So these are the colors that I can change it over. So while creating any particular dashboard, so we need to use the lighter colors. So our worksheet or our work has to be getting highlighted, not the background color. So whenever we choose anything on a dashboard background or a worksheet background, so that color has to be light in color. So that is the reason if you see the Tableau provided colors, if you see that will be in a lighter colors only. Or we can choose any color that we want. And we can put some hexa code also, and we can put RGB as well. Or we can directly pick from the screen color. So that is the option. Those are the options available, and we can align the sheet titles as well. And so text objects. So these are the okay. Let's say when I say text objects, so this is the text object that we can put it over. Text. So this is the text object, and we can go to format, dashboard format, and we can change it over here. So if I want to put thickness, I can put thickness for that. So this is how we can make the changes. So now let's just see the one chart which is already there. So now let's see this world indicators chart, how the formatting is been done. So let's set that open. Okay, so this is the world indicators chart. Okay, so this is the world indicators chart that we have. And now let's see some dashboards. Okay, so if you see the dashboard, so this is the, so if you see the background color, so that is white. So we can take any lighter color or any, we can directly take white color. So that is preferable. And yeah, so let's see how the formatting is been done. Yeah, so default color that I have selected is white color. And so title font is 18 and they have left aligned it. And so they have not used any borders and they have not used any kind of colors. So they just selected none. So none means there is no background color on that. And for text objects, they have used 9 point and left align. And we also have these worksheet titles. So for dashboard title, they have kept size of 18. And worksheet titles, they have used a size of 15. So that is how we can do the dashboard design. So now let's see how we can make use of the formatting options. So that is at workbook level. And yeah, so we also have themes available, normal themes that are there. So now let's see how we can select those themes. So let's just go to this worksheet and let's go to this case pane. Okay, so this is one format which is there, Tableau has already created. And now let's go to, okay. So these are the some themes that are there. So default Tableau will show you Tableau book 9 point size. So this is the default size, default format, and default font that they provide. And so these are the workbook themes that are there. So now let's click on previous. Okay. So previously it was in the this format. So if you see, this font is getting changed and this alignment is getting changed and everything will change, the size, the percentage, everything. So it will be in a certain theme and I can change. So you observe this particular font and everything. So if we go here and click on this, click on modern, the format is getting changed. If I do a control Z, okay, so this is how the representation is. Here we have title and which countries spend more than 14% of GDP. And if I do a control Y, okay, so this particular title has been central line and the names have been changed everything. So it is an Arial. And now let's go to workbook theme and click on classic. Okay, in classic we have this borders and all. And if you see, this workspace is using more borders, thick borders. And if you see, the font is also changed from Arial to COG. So that is, these are the default themes which are there, which we can use. And now let's go to next slide. Okay. Now let's see how we can do formatting at worksheet level. So to format at worksheet level, so there are 5 different options that are available. So let's go to format. Okay. So these are the 5 options: font, alignment, shading, borders, and lines. Font is nothing but it will, we can select Arial or any Sigoi and Tableau fonts that are available. And alignment is you can align it to center line or left or right, that we can align. And shading is nothing but the color, background color that we can select. And borders, so the borders that we see over here, the thickest borders, the black, which are in black in color. So there will be borders for every particular aspect. So we'll see where we can see all the borders. And there are some lines. So we have zero lines, we have trend lines. So there are some lines which are defined in Tableau. So we'll see all those. So now let's just click on this font. Okay, so here also we can see those 5 options. So now this is specifically about font, and if you want to switch to alignment, you can click on this one. And if you want to switch to shading, this is the option. So likewise, we can go for borders and lines. So now let's see. Okay, so this is for the entire sheet, and instead of entire sheet, you can, if you want to do only for rows like this, that we can do, or only for columns like this, if you want to do, we can do. So if we do it for worksheet, so that will be for both rows and columns. So now let's see for worksheet. So I'll just click on bold. Okay, so if I do bold here in the worksheet, so that is becoming bold for the entire sheet. And this title is different. So this title comes under different one. So this we can do a format by just right clicking on this. So we can do a format. So there also we will have the color, font, and the background color that we can change. Okay. So if we do a worksheet level change, that will happen for both rows and columns. But let's say, and we have talked about pane. So pane is nothing but this particular space is called as a pane, and the entire thing is called as a table. So if I do only for pane, so this only this will get highlighted. So let me just show the values on top of this bars. Yeah, and I'll make this as bold. Yeah. So what is happening is, so inside this pane only, this is getting affected. And if I do at a worksheet level, so worksheet is nothing but only the headers will get highlighted. Okay, and if I want to do only specifically inside the pane, then I will go for this one. And header is also same. So these two are called as headers. So if you want to color only those two, then we go for that. And so the next option is tooltip. So here we have a tooltip option. So when we hover on any particular bar or any particular data point, so we will be able to see the tooltip. And click on this bold and see on this. So when you bold that particular tooltip, so we can see inside that tooltip everything is getting bold. And we can change the title also. See, we can change the font of title as well. So this is how we can make the design. So this design is irresponsible of any like you shouldn't be using like this particular font or this one. So it depends on organization to organization and developer to developer. The design will be different. And in some organizations, they will give you certain standards on how to use the uh, font color and thickness and how to use the borders. So that will be defined by the organization or depends on the client requirement. We use this particular design. Some users want to see the borders, some users doesn't want to see the borders and all. They just want a report like simple report like this, like without any borders, without any highlighting the text and everything. So they want to just see the normal. without any highlighting the background and everything. So they just want to see the simple report. So that is how we can do the formatting. So now let's talk more about other options. On global indicators, business. Okay. So we'll talk about this one. So if you see this, each and every measure, like we have 4 different measures over here. Each and everything is color conditioned over here, and depending on the value, this color is defined. And now let's see how we can change. And we also have a grand total here. So at the bottom we will have some grand total. So let's click on this. If you want to show the grand totals, show the column grand totals. Analysis, totals, show columns to analysis. Okay, let me just show you how to show the totals. So let's take region and some measure the number of reports. So to do a total, we need to go to analysis and to column grand totals. Yeah. So this is how we can make a total. And now let's see how we can do the formatting. Okay. So these are the options. So this will be similar for all the for, let's say, for alignment, for shading. So everything will be similar. So now let's talk about the rows. So for rows, if I want to do the header in a different color, so only the rows are getting highlighted. Yeah. So this is about, if we go to this one, I want to highlight only the total one. So if I click on this is the grand total. If I want to do a italic, so this is getting italic. This value is getting italic. So this is about pane. We have done on pane. And if I want to do this particular one as a bold or anything, so this is the header. So I can do it as a bold, underline. Yeah. So we can make a differentiation. So all these are regions, and this is a grand total. And we can make a differentiation between all those regions and everything. And that is about rows and columns. Now let's see. So nothing is getting colored. Why? Because we don't have anything on columns. So let's put some column on. Okay. Let's take something. Okay, let's take here only. We will be having something on the column side also. So click on format, click on font. Okay. So I'll just click on bold here. Okay. So now the columns are getting highlighted. So when you do rows, so click on this board. So only rows are getting highlighted. So this is the separate thing for rows and columns. So whatever is in rows will get formatted, in this one, and whatever is in rows will get formatted in this one. So region is there in rows, so region is getting colored, or region we are changing the font and everything. And in columns also we have different year column over there. So if you want to change the font for that particular column, then we go for this particular columns column. So that is about font. So for each and every font we can do all these options. And if you see font, we can go from 8 to 72. This is the maximum available. And we can do bold, italic, and underline. And the color of the font we can choose from the HR code as well, or we can pick from any particular screen color. So we'll get a thing like this, and we can select. Let's say I want to take this particular color. See, this color also I can pick. Like this, I can get color from any thing on the screen. Yeah. If I change for worksheet, it will be for entire worksheet. So that is how I can make the changes for font. And likewise for similarly for alignment as well. So for alignment, we have these options. So we can put it on automatic. So according to the size, according to the space available, it will take the automatic comment. Automatically it will arrange the center aligned or left aligned or anything. So if I want to align it on the center and the bottom. So this is about bottom, and here also we'll have center and top. If you see this is moving. Whatever is there in the pane is moving. Okay, and we can rotate the categories. I mean, this values also like this. Sometimes we want to show uh, slant. Sometimes we want to show this side. So if you want to show something different, or something is aligned, or if you want to show upwards down or downwards up, we can use this particular option. And wrap we can use uh, sometimes. Let's say this Americas is there and it is not visible. So what happens when we do wrap? We'll just do a format, click on alignment and click on. And when I do on, so I'll just move it slightly down. Okay, so what is happening is I'll just see the text without disturbance. So I will just see the entire text when I'm wrapping that particular region. So that is how I can make. And while doing the format, I no need to go every time here and do the formatting. I can just right click on any particular thing. Let's say if I want to do a formatting for this thing. So I can just click on format and change the formatting. See, but it will change for everything. So this thing is coming under the pane. So whatever is there, so if it is related to the other data points, so if you change for one data point, it will affect for other also. And let's say if you are doing for grand total, okay, if I am doing for grand total, so grand total is here. I want to make grand total as italic and underline. Okay, so this is how I can make the change based on the selection. So I can just right click and select the values and do the changes. So click on format. So I will get specifically for that particular number. The number of records are the values that are available here. So I'll just I want to rotate. Okay, I can do all this by just doing the right click also. So to understand this formatting, you need to practice on this thing, and you need to understand what is happening, which option is correct for which one. So let's say, so when I'm making this change, you need to understand what is happening in the entire dashboard. And I'm making italic. So everything is becoming italic. So you need to understand what is the change that is happening in the worksheet. So you need to go one by one with all these five different things and see how we can make these changes. So now let's see format, shading. So now let's talk about this shading. So shading is basically the background color of the worksheet. And so this is the background color of the worksheet. But inside the pane, if you want to color, so this is the pane option that is there. So inside the pane, we can change the color. Or I want to put only white color. Yeah. So this is the way that I can make some changes in the background color of the worksheet. And also this is the grand total, right? So if I want to make changes, so this thing is called as pane, and this one is the header, which is the region column. So for grand total, I want to show in a thicker color. Yeah, like this. And header, I want to show some lighter color like this. So the changes will happen like this.